what's up? May the 4th be with you. This is The Conversation, and I'm Luis.
I'm Abby.
And we are the writers of The Conversations, and we bring you news and stories that will get you talking today and every weekday. And today is kind of like a special day. You know, we got came into work for some really special treats.
Yeah, we try and, you know, if there's some sort of holiday, something cool going on, we're going to talk about that first, of course.
Yeah.
And since May the 4th is supposedly Star Wars Day, we got these awesome donuts from San Diego.
Star Wars themed
Donut Bar.
Donuts, yeah.
And you can see Chewie. We've got, you know, these like chocolate.
Who is that
Darth
supposed
Vader,
to?
Yoda.
That? Can you tell who that is right there at the top? I don't know.
Actually, you know what we should do is if you watch Star Wars and you're a fan, let us know. Like, shout it out in the comments. If you know what that is,
if you're watching,
that means you're a true fan, so let us know.
Yeah, let us know which one would you
I
eat.
know. Do you know?
The Chewbacca one was actually pretty good. It was like a brownie mix.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving
Those
on.
are from Donut Bar, right across the street from downtown.
Yeah, so today we're kind of, you know, delving into some kind of mashup. You know, it's it's mashup day. You know, what's happening you know, in the news.
Yeah, so we were just talking here on The Conversation about the Golden State Killer. That was, you know, at the end of April that we were talking about that. And we are talking about another serial killer today.
Ooh.
And that is the Zodiac Killer.
Oh, that is like the ultimate villain, you know, mashup.
Back in the news.
Yeah, back in the news.
And
so why are we talking about the Zodiac Killer out of the blue?
So on the Conversation blog today, we'll have more information about this. It's on San Diego Union-Tribune.com. And in the meantime, if you guys have questions, please ask them in the comments. Yeah. We'll be watching for it. But so after the Golden State Killer, this suspected Golden State Killer was brought in by authorities at the end of April. There's been a lot of discussion about this sort of advanced DNA method that
because that's
was used to bring him in.
Yeah, that's how they caught the Golden State Killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you aren't caught up with the case, basically what happened was they used open source DNA. You know, it used to be that you could only kind of go through state and federal databases of DNA to sort of put evidence against these big registries and see if you could find a match. But with these sort of things like 23andMe and other like genealogy and ancestry research, there's a lot more out there now.
Yeah, so there's all these websites where you can like go find your roots, you know, your great grandparents, you know, or you could submit your own DNA to like so they can map it out. Okay, so there's these big databases of people that have like volunteered all this information, and so the cops basically tapped into that. Yeah,
so it was the DNA of a relative that helped them track down the man that they took in. And so of course immediately with such a huge success story and such a high profile story like this that brought the whole attention of the whole country's attention to this sort of DNA process, everybody's hoping to bring more suspects in for big unsolved crimes.
And the big one is that they're
Zodiac
talking about.
Killer, of course, is going to be the first one to come to mind of many people, especially here in California, where you know the alleged crimes took place.
Okay,
and
so
he's all over the internet today.
What's the police saying about this? Like, are they saying anything about whether they intend to use the same techniques to catch?
So, of course, everyone who is interested in the Zodiac case and true crime fans and a lot of people online today are just sort of have been asking since this Golden State, arrest, what's next? Is there any possibility that the Zodiac Killer could be next? And so the Vallejo Police Department, that's Vallejo, California, who leads this investigation, you know, they say that they've done routine submissions and that they send in evidence every couple of years as technology advances to try and rerun some of the evidence and see if anything new has been discovered. And so the Vallejo police have actually submitted 2 letters from the Zodiac Killer to be re-examined ever since, you know, some of this new technology has gone forward. And they, you know, everyone's asking them, did you do it because of the Golden State Killer? And they say no, they were already going to do it anyway.
Interesting.
But what they're hoping is that saliva from the stamps on these letters that he wrote will be used to put together a DNA profile.
Uh-huh.
And they wouldn't say what lab they sent it to or what program they're using, but a spokesperson for the police department says that they feel confident that a lab will be able to get something this time around. So it's a pretty huge deal, and the internet is freaking out about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if for those who don't know who the Golden State Killer, I just dropped the link to your story in the comments. And if you don't know who the Zodiac Killer is,
just a quick background.
A quick Google search, or...
Yeah, just really quick if you don't know, and maybe you don't. It was 1968 and 1969 when this happened, so pretty long time ago for, you know, evidence to be pulled back up, but they, you know, are hoping for the best. And there were 5 deaths associated to the suspected so-called Zodiac Killer, even though he claimed to have been responsible for way more than that.
Yeah,
and he's famous, as you may know from the movie, and internet chat rooms and such, for these ciphers and codes that he sent to police and news outlets bragging about the crimes. And
he's probably one of the best known and most written about and talked about and basically researched serial killers, you know.
And all, I mean, so much of the evidence and information is out there because it's been such a long time, and because of Information Act research that, you know, you can go on the FBI website and look through all this info that they have. There's just so much out there on him, and yet they still have not, all these years later, they don't have a the DNA profile they need to find him. And with the Golden State Killer, they, you know, they gathered his this person that is suspected by police. They watched him for days, and then they got more of his trash, and they, you know, did research on his family, and it just once you get that DNA profile, it sort of unravels from there. Sorry.
Well, I'm kind of wondering, like,
and they're hoping for the same.
Because I saw, like, you know, some of the chatter that came. That followed kind of like after the Golden State Killer was caught. You know, like all these questions are like, you know, well, first of all, you know, what are the implications for like data privacy? You know,
and those conversations are coming up again today because of this whole Zodiac madness.
So what are people saying about this?
It's definitely, you know, there are questions being raised, and a lot of what I've read about this so far shows that, you know, some of these sites and places where people submit their information says that, you know, their information will be used in all these different types of ways, but maybe people don't read it. And this kind of goes back to what we've been discussing here on the conversation about just knowing what your information and data is used for and being more in tune with, you know, privacy and... i.e.
Facebook.
Yeah, you know, that's what we were talking about with Facebook. But one of the most interesting things about this to me is that, of course, the internet is running wild. Like, people all over are running wild with the possibility that, hey, if this is how they caught the Golden State Killer, maybe the Zodiac Killer is next. But the Vallejo Police Department is trying really hard to sort of tone this all down. They put out a statement yesterday that says, "We are not close to identifying a suspect, nor do we anticipate developing that information anytime in the future." So they're saying, calm down, everyone.
So this is mostly like social media fueled.
Well, people are asking questions, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But they did confirm that they've resubmitted these letters, which, you know, if you've seen the movie about the Zodiac Killer, if you've paid attention to this case, these letters are a huge deal. And so, of course, you know, the theories are running wild. But the police department does say they expect results in the next few weeks. So, of course, this is just going to be one of those things that you're probably going to keep hearing about. And we may bring an update to the conversation if we get one.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to like follow up with. You know? And I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna be tuning in. You know, to finally catch the Zodiac Killer. Yeah.
I mean,
awesome.
it's been a
very
more
long
than 50
time.
years. So, but it had been decades and decades since the Golden State Killer. You know, so
that's awesome.
Anyway, we thought we should bring you that story today. You're probably going to see it all over the internet. And so we'll have more info and kind of a wrap-up on that on our website, SanDiegoUnion-Tribune.com.
And we'll post the link in the comments.
And just one other thing we wanted to bring to the attention, especially of San Diegans this weekend, is that the Republican Party of California's convention is here in San Diego this weekend.
That sounds fun.
So if you are out and about, you know, you may see some of the more high-profile California Republicans this
yes,
weekend.
Yes.
The keynote speaker is Linda McMahon, who is who leads the Small Business Administration for the Trump administration.
Wasn't she used to be with the WWE?
Of WWE fame. That's who we're talking about. Yes. And basically, these conventions are just, there are parties, there are networking opportunities, but they also bring the candidates in to meet, the rest of the Republicans in the state for statewide races. It's their chance to sort of, make their point and, ask for support.
Get endorsements, right?
And they'll also be, gathering to sort of put together who they'll be endorsing, and the biggest deal is obviously the governor's race.
The California governor's race, yeah.
And so John Cox and also Assemblyman Travis Allen are supposed to be there, and actually...
Travis Allen is actually here in our building, or was in our building.
Right now, or was.
And he was in meeting with our editorial board, answering some questions, so... Yeah. But he's around town.
Yeah, so that's going to be at the Sheraton here in San Diego. And there'll be events all over all weekend, so keep your eyes peeled if you're out and about. That's going on.
I'm going to keep my ears peeled.
And they actually, they had the California's Democrats also met here for their convention in February. So San Diego is the big hot spot for state politicians this year, apparently. And we'll be interested to see what comes out of this weekend. Maybe we'll see who the party chooses to endorse for the governor's race.
Yeah.
And that definitely interests us because we're all over the election this.
Yeah, we're about to
ahead
get
of June 5th.
Full gear in the next few weeks.
Yes.
So, awesome.
Anyway, this is The Conversation. We're here every weekday.
At noon.
Yes.
And
hope you have a good Star Wars day, a good weekend.
Good weekend, and we'll see you Monday.